How we doing, everyone? Got to witness an amazing game and a huge win for the Padres in Game 2. Isaac and I, we both called it a must-win last night, and the Padres come in and they deliver. And honestly, this was one of the best baseball games I've seen in a long time. And if we look back to the last time the Padres were in the playoffs in 2020, it kind of reminds you of Game 2 of that NLDS as well. Just in my opinion, at least, just because I felt like, okay, where the Padres are at. Like it was a very similar spot. Like it's a must win. The Dodgers took game 1, and it's a back and forth just battle. You have some amazing defensive plays by both teams. You have a couple calls that are a little bit like iffy. You get the big home run for the insurance run with Cronenworth, but I don't know. I just thought it was a similar feel to that, but that was a really, really, really good baseball game. And so Isaac, how you feeling right now after a huge victory in a must win game?
Yeah, I feel great. I mean, I wasn't able to sit down almost that whole game, man. It feels great to finally be able to sit down. That was one of the best baseball games I've seen. That was the best baseball game I've seen this season. That was a fantastic game. Props to the Dodgers. I thought, you know, not only props to them for missing out on a lot of opportunities, but they played some good baseball too. Um, the Padres played really good baseball today. Outside of the second inning, they kind of messed up. They left runners on in a really key situation. They did that 2 or 3 different times today. But overall, that game should have been more than just a two run ball game. The Padres missed out on an opportunity in the second. The Padres missed out on, or not missed out, but Trent Grisham had a bunt that didn't exactly go our way. Brusdar Graterol made a great play. Cody Bellinger made a great play out in center field. That game could have been a lot worse than the score indicated. So a very encouraging showing by the Padres today. I don't want to get too excited just because that's a good team over there. And obviously after game 1 against the Mets, I was very excited just because, dude, the Mets aren't the Dodgers. We were going to kick their ass. I knew we were going to beat the Mets. But the Dodgers, different dragon. And we came out of LA with the goal. We went into LA with the goal of you need to go 1-1. You need to go 1-1. You're probably losing game 1, so you need to win game 2. Did exactly that. So very good to see that the Padres were able to execute with runners in scoring position. Manny came up huge tonight with a solo shot in the first, really setting the tone. One of the keys for us was you need to strike first. You need to set the tone. Padres were able to do that, even though the Dodgers came back, put up a 2-1 lead. Doesn't really matter. The Padres were able to put up, were able to kind of set the tone. But yeah, very good showing for the Padres. I was very happy to see what they were able to do. Without much production from Juan Soto, Josh Bell wasn't in the lineup. Not much production from Drury. We're able to get still 5 runs. We went to the Chrome Zone. That was super fun. I was so excited just because he didn't really have a good series last series, and right now he's actually having a pretty damn good series. So it's very good to see. Coming back to San Diego with a 1-1 tie, that was the goal the whole time. Petco's going to be rocking on Friday, so hopefully, not only hopefully we get the starter announced soon for the Dodgers because we still don't know, but hopefully the Padres are able to go into San Diego and show why we should be so excited.
Yeah, and I think that we look at the series too, and that was always the goal. You got to leave LA 1-1, and a lot of the reason you want to leave LA 1-1 is because you have Snell and Musgrove on the bump, and those guys have been extremely good at home. We talked about it's very deflating to come back home when you're down. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
Gonsolin in game 3.
Gonsolin game 3, that makes sense. I think that if you go I think that's kind of probably their plan. We'll have to see how he looks. I know he's pitched a little bit, but coming back off injury, so it's Gonsolin, Snell, and Anderson, Musgrove, right?
Yeah, I would assume.
I kind of would rather see that as a Padres fan.
Me too.
I think that's the better. I mean, Snell can always be hit or miss, but if Snell's on, I feel like Snell out dual Gonsolin, and especially because he can probably go a lot longer right now as well. And then I like the Musgrove matchup as well. So I saw, someone up in the comments earlier said you got to take the next 2 at home. I mean, that's what I feel like is the path in the series. And the Padres have looked really good. You talked about that, the goal was going to win 1-1, and it didn't really feel like game 1 was going to be that winnable, right? They looked close in that game. If you took away Clef's start, you had a 3-run advantage in that game. So I feel like leaving LA, the way not only taking one of those wins, but the way that you played as well. You just went through. I mean, the Dodgers hit 3 solo home runs and had 8 other hits, and 4 other walks. So they had 12 guys get on base that they didn't bring in today. That's huge. That is huge right there. The bullpen for the Padres has been ridiculous. I know that they didn't allow a hit. They had like 30 at bats or whatever without a hit, and the Dodgers ended up getting some base knocks. But I mean, Suarez looked really good. I know he allowed 2 hits and it got a little bit sus, but I still feel like he looked good. His stuff played in the playoffs and is playing in the playoffs really well. Martinez looked good, and then they bring in Hader, and there was a little bit of stuff with Hader. He walked the first guy. Okay, when he walked the first guy, I was nervous. I mean, honestly, I was
tripping,
dude. I was nervous like the whole game though, too.
Yeah, the whole game I was nervous. I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't sit down, man. I was anxious the whole game. I was tripping out the whole game. Josh Hader had a really good last inning though, despite a very scary moment with Freddie Freeman. He did have a really solid outing. The unfortunate thing, which was unfortunate for the Dodgers too, is that the highlight of today was Darvish versus Kershaw. Both get taken out in the 5th after allowing 3 runs. So it's not exactly the pitching matchup you expected. It was, all right, these guys need to grind out some innings, right? I mean, they both opposing teams scored 3. Now you have to grind out 5 innings. You got to get at least 5 so you don't have to use too many bullpen arms. Granted, that might not have mattered because you do have the day off tomorrow, but it wasn't the pitching matchup we expected. Yu Darvish, he didn't really have his best stuff tonight, but everyone was complaining about it. We know what I'm about to say. Those damn calls against Yu Darvish were horrendous. The first one, Freddie Freeman, fastball. What was it? Fastball down and in, right in the corner of the strike zone. Strike 3, or what was it? Strike 2? Yeah, strike 2 sets up a much better pitch. Now you're 0-2, right? 0-2 being the 0-2 count is the lowest batting average in all of baseball. Now instead of 1-1, you got 0-2, and you're in a much better situation. The supreme pitch to Max Muncy up in the zone. Easy strike 3, no doubt about it. Didn't touch a corner, didn't touch a line, nothing. Easy strike 3. Doesn't get called. A few pitches later, Max Muncy goes deep. That's 2 instances right there where the blue definitely screwed us. And you could talk about fastball.
He was bad all
It was bad, yeah. The fastball outside to Trent Grisham that would have been ball 4. It's like a lot of things.
And he was also bad. He was bad both ways too. He missed.
Yeah, towards the end of the game, he started being bad towards the Dodgers.
Yeah. But it was just the timing of it early on was dude, these are massive, massive gut punches right here.
Yeah.
Because in both instances, did the Padres have the lead? It was 1-0, and then I believe it was 2-1, and then it made it 2-2. I want to say. That's brutal. That's so brutal.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So I was gonna say, we should go over the guys that really to highlight in this one. I think there's a couple guys. I'll start with the Dodgers guy first, Trey Turner.
Oh God, he's hot, man. He's hot.
But horrendous defense tonight.
Oh yeah.
He's a reason for a run or two basically.
Yeah.
So that was huge for the Padres. Cronenworth has the RBI where he kept fouling off pitches and kind of hanging in with Kershaw, and then he grounds out, which is huge situational hitting. I mean, think about how much more stressful those innings would have been late in the game if it was a 1-run game. And then also he has the insurance run there, which is once again same thing. You have that extra run. I feel like it gives your bullpen a little bit more confidence in that one than just having a single run lead like that. That is really tough to hang on to. I'm trying to think about other guys. Oh, Machado. Machado was ridiculous tonight. You hit the home run in the first to kind of get everyone going. And then you had the double later on. Machado's been ridiculous. Also the defense as well in this one. The whole Machado doesn't perform in the playoffs. He's been absurd this playoffs. Super clutch hits off big time pitchers. Machado's been everything that we've seen him be this whole season. And it's an MVP caliber season. And Machado has shown that again. So props to Machado because he has been everything that we could have imagined when he signed that massive contract a few years back. I think that's all I got. I feel like those are the big guys in this one. Oh, Profar had 2 RBIs, or just 1 RBI, but 2 hits, even though he had that horrible strikeout.
That was horrendous. But yeah, Manny Machado, man. I mean, that's the guy that everyone's going to be talking about. That's the guy that, the media's kind of talking about a lot just because that's probably one of the greatest seasons ever put together by a Padre, and he's carrying it into the postseason. Leadership, everything you could ask from Manny Machado, you're getting it right now. So it was really good. that Manny Machado was able to come up in some big time situations. He set the tone, and then he got us back in the game with an RBI double. So, big time swings for Manny Machado. Jake Cronenworth, another good game. That ball hit to him up the middle that went right over Darvish, where it was kind of like an error. Weird, right? I can't be the only one that thinks that was weird, because normally you get that ball on a hop. That ball did not bounce whatsoever. That ball stayed low to the ground. So, I mean, I kind of understand the error. Nonetheless, I was a little mad, but I understood it a few innings later. But Cronenworth definitely had a good game today. Dude, yeah, Mateo's right, man. Manny Machado's defense is stupid. It is stupid the things he's doing on defense right now. Nolan Arenado would be in SportsCenter top 10. He'd be talking about, this guy's a platinum Gold Glove winner this many times in a row. This is the stuff we expect Manny to do. Us Padres fans, we just expect Manny to do this. Nolan Arenado, yeah, he's a great defender, but Manny's been better for a few years already. How is the perception still that Nolan Arenado is the best third baseman? I don't understand it. But Manny's definitely coming through, and the other guy's on the couch. So, Manny Machado's having himself a great season. Other guys to highlight, definitely Robert Suarez. Got himself into the inning before. Yu Darvish put him in a pretty bad situation. He goes in and shuts it down with a strikeout and a double play. So really, really big inning for him there. And then he puts himself in a big situation. What was it? Bases loaded. It was runners on second and third. He got the out to Trey Turner, and then Freddie Freeman intentionally walked. Got a fly out against Will Smith, I believe. Yeah, really, really big inning from Robert Suarez. So 2 big innings from Robert Suarez. That was great to see. So that's definitely someone that, honestly, he might be in the top conversation for MVP of the game, because he was able to get himself out of those big innings. Manny's there, Jake's there, and him. I mean, those are the guys.
I think in terms of pitching, yeah, he was ridiculous.
Yeah.
He was awesome. And I feel like it's also a little bit too of just like, you see how many swings and misses he's getting on his fastball.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Because like he also, one of the hits was a blooper. They intentionally walked someone, which, okay, Isaac, I mean, it worked out. So I was kind of like, I don't know if I like this intentional walk. We've seen that Suarez gets a little bit like, he gets a little dicey. Sometimes he'll start missing his spots. And I was like, dude, this could get into like, you walk the tying run in, and it gets really scary. But he's able to get that. He's able to get Will Smith out, and I get it because it's Freddie Freeman up too. Like that's
the thing, man. Is that it's essentially pick your poison. Do you want to do the matchup against someone who was almost the NL batting champion, or do you want to do it at an advantageous matchup, righty on righty, where you guys throwing 101 miles per hour? And Will Smith, did he have a hit today?
He had 1 hit.
I think he did. So
I think he went like 1 for 5 though. So
So it's like I would rather take the advantageous matchup. I was saying it, because I was watching the game pretty much by myself. I was on FaceTime with a friend, but I was saying I think you should intentionally walk Freddie Freeman to get an advantageous matchup.
Okay. Yeah, I was just a little torn, but also I noticed this too. Every single decision in the playoffs, I'm like, oh dude, I don't know.
Me too, man. Of course,
I second guess everything, and not even in I don't know, like a couch coordinator type way of like, oh, like they should call this, they should call that. I'm just like, I hope that's not like a move that like they're like.
Me too. I hope this doesn't end up on SportsCenter tonight.
should Bob Melvin have done this? Like, no, I don't want to see that, dude. I really don't want to see that. Exactly. But I see some stuff. Ren says, "Thank you for the $5." Ren also says the broadcast would not stop playing the Grisham bunt. Was it really that good of a play for Gratterall? I thought it was, dude. I thought that was.
It was a great play. It was a great play.
It was the right. I think it was Myers that was at third. It was good. It was a good play to go. Yeah. But it was like, oh, dude, that's rough. Like that might change the game. Hang with him.
Yeah, he saved a run right there. That was a really good play. Especially you got to consider it's to his right side. You got to throw it across his body. He's got to make a perfect throw. And a lot of props to I hate him, but a lot of props to Gratterall there. That was a solid play. I feel like Manny's plays should have been highlighted a little more than that one, but
they like the one where he did the spin. That play was raw.
That was sick, dude. But
that was an amazing play. The double play was also huge. Yep. Dude, there was so many plays in this. Also, I
The
think it
dude
was
was
Lizzie brought it up
remarkable.
earlier. Oh, here it was. The good was a goose. The goose was a good. Oh man, I got a little tongue twister right there. Dude, it was. That was. I thought that was hilarious too. Um, yeah, it's gonna. I don't know if it's the goose game, but I thought it was pretty. I thought it was just like such a ridiculous game of just like all the crazy plays. Like, of course, there's gonna be a goose on the field.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. Um, it was just, man, it was just one of those crazy games, man. It was such a back and forth game. This is what postseason baseball is all about. These are the kind of games you want. Me as a Padres fan, I'd rather see it be 7-1 or something, man. I can't. Oh, there's just times where I love these games, and there's times where I cannot stand these games, man. Like I want to be able to relax, sit down, watch some baseball, and enjoy a W. But I was stressing all game just because that lineup can come back from that super easy. Like they can do that in one inning. They can do it in three batters. Um, so that's not exactly a lineup that you can relax against, that you can take it easy against. And the bullpen really came through tonight the way it did yesterday. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's felt like the Padres have been dominant over the Dodgers over the last 14 innings, 15 innings, something like that. I feel like the Padres have been very, very dominant against the Dodgers in the past. Not only this game, but the last few innings of the last game, they looked really good. So, good sign coming into game 3.
Yeah.
You got Snell on the bump, and hopefully Snell's able to make up for his last outing for sure.
Yeah, I see someone. Where was it? They said, "Oh, Morales says best of 3, Snell and Musgrove." I mean, this is what you want. You want to win these next two. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to. You don't even want to take to a game 5. Honestly, you want to
Nope.
win the next two.
Mhm.
It's not like it's gonna be an easy matchup or anything, but like, you have the home field. Like, you got your guys. We've seen that Snell's numbers against the Dodgers are really good. Musgrove's are okay, but I think it's more about just how good Musgrove has been and how hot he is right now. That's the other
Yeah.
thing. And I know Snell's last outing was not good, but Snell's also been really good in the second half. So it's more like where these guys are at. Because Isaac, we were talking about like Musgrove's second half was pretty bad, and then right
Yeah.
towards the end of the season, he started getting really hot. And you
Mhm.
look at I think it's like his last 5 starts, he's been absurd. Like really, I think he's allowed like 1 or 2
Nasty,
runs
bro.
over the last like
One
5
run, yeah, something like
something
that.
ridiculous. So like he's pitching the best he has for the whole season. And then we see that the bullpen looks really good. So I mean, the day of rest also helps especially for our guys a lot because
Everyone's gonna
you
be
know
fresh, man.
yeah, or at least more fresh.
Yeah.
Just because you're coming in from the other series before. So like Hader's available Friday, Suarez is available Friday. Both those guys I feel like, and you only went through those two, right? Like
Yeah, you haven't thrown Garcia yet. You haven't thrown
Martinez tonight. Martinez was
Martinez. Yeah, Martinez. Martinez will be good again. Pierce Johnson will be good again. Tim Hill. I mean, everyone's gonna be good come Friday. So that's a big game. You're kind of hoping that Snell goes 6 or 7. You're hoping that just because you want to be able to have your bullpen fresh for the next day. Also, um, the playoffs really rides on your bullpen, right? I mean, you've seen the Dodgers take out both Clayton Kershaw and Julio Urias after 5 innings after allowing 3 runs. So he's relying heavily on his bullpen. And yesterday, obviously, Clevenger goes a bummy 3 2/3, whatever it is, relies heavily on the bullpen for the rest of the game. Today, Darvish goes 5, relies heavily on the bullpen for the rest of the game. So it's a battle of the bullpens really right now. And the Padres bullpen's coming through in every way. So hopefully they're able to keep that up. Basically, what I would do, the Dodgers lineup is going to look basically the same every single game.
except
Friday's lineup,
Gallo. I
except
hope.
Gallo. Yeah, I was, dude. I was like, what? Oh, I saw him come in. And I was like, oh my god, I forgot he was on the team. I completely forgot. But come Friday for us, you're probably going to see a similar lineup to no, probably similar lineups to Max Scherzer and the DeGrom outings and Bassett. You're
So
Profar at the top.
oh yeah, because he's ready. I gotta ask you. So in terms of the lineup, out of Drury, Myers, and Bell, who are you playing?
So the way I would have it, obviously Profar, Soto, Machado. I'd start Bell. I would start Bell in that DH spot. Who's pitching? Gonsolin. I feel like Will's been having a lot better at bats against not even just against anyone. Will's just had some really good at bats lately. So I'm starting Will at first. Um, let me see. I'm trying to remember the rest. Sorry. Ha-Seong Kim's obviously going to be in there. Nola. I can't put together a lineup right now. I'm losing my. I'm losing it. But yeah, I'll definitely go Myers and Bell in that situation. Drury, I just felt like hasn't put together many good at bats. I think he got a hit tonight, right? Maybe. But
He got one, but he went 1 for 5. Struck out
yeah,
3 times.
yeah, I don't think he's put together some really good at bats. So I feel like in this situation, you got to ride with Myers and Bell for sure.
That's exactly how I feel as well. I think that's probably your best bet. I think you keep Myers at first.
Yeah.
I know he had the Aaron game 1, but he's also played some good defense. Bell, especially since it's a righty, I think you got to put Bell in.
You have to, yeah.
But honestly, I feel a little bit more comfortable with Bell than Drury right now too. Just Drury's like really hit and miss. I feel like because he'll get like, his game's so predicated on power. Like he just he can hit a couple bombs and it's like, oh look, Drury's been really good. So it's kind of tough there because it's like you just gotta kind of wait for the home runs almost. But what about the home run? I thought Grisham had it right when he jumped up. I really did.
Man, barely over his glove. Maybe not even over his glove. It looked like he just didn't have the right angle, but I definitely thought he had it. You know, that's going to be playoff baseball, man. It's all going to be won by that. You know, those few inches. The out at the plate, Grisham almost catching it. You know, Trey Turner's errors. The few inches that you got Gavin Lux on the double play, I mean, it's going to be won by these close plays, and the Padres were able to execute most of them tonight. But the defense is really what stands out for the Padres in terms of you got a lot of double plays. You got Manny making some very good plays. Trent Grisham missed out on this diving play in center field. That was a little costly, but we were able to get out of that. And he does normally play Gold Glove caliber defense anyway, so you can rely on him to be able to, you know, bounce back from that. Will Myers still playing good defense at first base. Like the defense is really showing out. You got Austin Nola suddenly throwing guys out. First time since what, July?
That was like his second or third guy sitting out this year. Like actually.
Yeah, so that he put it on a perfect, you know, like a perfect throw. So you know, defense stood out a lot tonight for the Padres in terms of being able to get out of jams, being able to execute the routine plays, and being able to execute even the harder plays. I mean, I was very skepticistic about that double play just because Ha-Seong Kim throws pretty hard, but I was like, it's not as hard as Fernando, you know, like
and Lux flies down the line.
Yeah, Lux is fast. So very good to see the Padres were able to put together. I mean, I felt like 9 innings of great baseball.
Yeah, dude. This was a really, really good baseball game. I think I tweeted that out in the middle, but I was like, dude, this is like super intense every single inning. There's stuff happening early on, so many lead changes, and then you see just the Dodgers like almost look like they're gonna take the lead or fight back every single inning for like 5 or 6 of them, it felt like. So this was an amazing game. I'm super happy we got to see this one. And like I said before, this is a must win. So if there's any time where everything just kind of clicks in terms of the defense, in terms of like just making those winning plays, Cronenworth fight, you know, having that big at bat, and then bringing a guy in, hitting the home run to give you a 2-run advantage. Manny, of course, just being Manny, honestly. But then Profar got like completely clowned on a pitch in the dirt, but then you look up and you go, well, he went 3 for 2 and hit an RBI. So like he ended up having a pretty good game. In terms of hits, everyone on the team had a hit except for Christian Nolan, 8 and 9 spots.
Yeah.
Pretty good. We talked about the top of the order needed to produce, and they absolutely did. More Manny and Crone, but still, they still produced.
Yeah. That's the thing. You only really need 2 or 3 guys to come up big in a game. So very good to see that those 2 guys, the same guys that outside of another guy that's suspended right now, two of the same guys that were carrying the 2021 offense, were able to carry us tonight, and it was two of probably everyone's favorite Padres. So that was so fun. Super fun game, man, especially when Cronenworth hit it to the Crone zone. I mean, to make it 5-3, you definitely felt a lot of pressure when it was 4-3, you know, up by 1. You had a play at the plate that could have went either way, and you lost out on that play. And then you have Jake Cronenworth, not put the game away, but give you a little bit of relief in terms of giving you some insurance runs. Having, letting Josh Hader go up there a little more loose than he might have been in a 1-run game. Now you come back to San Diego and it's going to be the same keys all over again, man. All over again. It's going to be the same thing. Every single game, strike first, strike first, strike first, every single game. The stats show that when you score first, you are like it's a good 60% chance that you win the game, maybe even more. Not only that, you're going to be in front of your home crowd. If you strike first, man, it's going to be electric. So the key is strike first for sure. That's going to be the biggest thing come Friday and Saturday. Not only that, you need a good outing from your starting pitcher, man. Like a shutdown outing, like one that's like, oh, we're going to win this game for sure. Obviously there's no for sure thing against the Dodgers. The Mets suck, so that's why it's for sure. But you need a good outing from Blake Snell. You need a vintage Blake Snell outing, a second half Blake Snell outing. Hopefully we're able to see that tomorrow, because that'd be such a big bounce back game for Blake Snell in terms of he almost cost us the series. I mean, he didn't look good last game, so he hopefully he bounces back tomorrow, or not tomorrow, sorry, on Friday. And to say that he almost cost us the series, it's not like a diss to him. I just think, like, if we would have won that game, obviously we're set up in a lot better position in terms of now we get to throw Musgrove game 1 and so on and so forth. Darvish goes today, stuff like that. But I mean, I've been loving Blake Snell all second half. He's been fantastic. Our best pitcher, essentially. Him and Darvish carried us to this spot. So hopefully we're able to see some vintage Blake Snell tomorrow. No, God damn it, I keep saying tomorrow. Friday. Whoever's going to the game, have a lot of fun, because I mean, it's been 16 years. It's been 16 years, and I mean, we've been waiting for this our whole lives. So have fun, enjoy the moment for sure.
Yeah, so I'm totally there with you in terms of, keys to the game. Score first. I think scoring first is absolutely huge.
Each time they win, they score first.
Yeah, it's and that's kind of like we're talking about with like Manny. It's kind of like you got to strike first, and like the second you start playing down. And I think that's also part of the reason why we talked about game 2 being such a must-win game. But for this game 3, my thought is don't take it to game 5. You got to go and win 2 if you're gonna win this series. You got to go win the home games. And you brought him up a little bit, but I really do think that this one is going to be dependent on whether or not Blake Snell looks good or not. If you look at the Padres offense in the playoffs, it's been pretty consistent. I think it's 3 to 7 runs every single night. We're 5 games in, and we have 2 7s, a 5, and a 3. Maybe that middle one was only 1 or 2 actually. But anyways, they've put up runs. They have put up runs in the postseason, and it's been really, really nice to see. But it's going to come down to a guy we've talked about as a big game pitcher. He always gets brought up about, how great he has been against the Dodgers, how great he was in that World Series game where he got pulled early. We really need a Blake Snell revenge game, basically, for his personal revenge for getting pulled in that game and not getting the win, not being able to, take the momentum in the series. So that's what I think. I have his game log against the Dodgers right here. A lot of people talk about how good he is here. So he's had a couple rough outings, but for the most part, he's been pretty good. Hasn't gone super far. But this game doesn't really count. But outside of that, it's basically 5 innings every single time. And I don't know what this is. I guess maybe there's no playoffs in here, but not many runs.
We need one of those 7.2.
We need this outing right here.
Yeah.
This one, or yeah. So this is pretty good. And also keep in mind, like, this isn't against any lineup. This is against a really, really good lineup. So I don't know. I think that's a little bit interesting there, just to kind of see where his game logs were. But he's mostly pitching around 5 innings and about 0 or 1 or 2 runs. And that's based on what we've seen. Even that alone will be huge, because that'd be a much better outing than we've got in either of these first 2 games. And the Padres were able to hang around in game 1, and then they were able to take game 2. By putting up 5. So it's going to come down to Blake Snell, in my opinion. How he look. I think that's the biggest key. And like, there's other stuff too, but I think that is like the number one biggest thing.
Yeah, and the biggest thing for Blake Snell, you see his outings right there against the Dodgers. It's consistently five and a third, 5 and 2/3, something like that, around 5 innings. With that being said, the biggest key for him is going to be pounding the zone. You got to pound the zone so that way you're not getting yourself deep into the pitch count. That way you're able to get past the 6th inning, past the 7th inning, whatever it is. The Dodgers are phenomenal at hanging in there, putting together competitive at bats, hitting a lot of foul balls. They've been great at that all season. I mean, every time they face the Padres, they're able to do it. Did it against Yu Darvish tonight, where they just get battling and battling and battling. So that's what the Dodgers are really good at. Blake Snell's going to have to find a way to counter that. He's going to have to find a way to get his strikeouts. He's going to have to find a way to get his soft contact. He has to do that all the time. He's going to have to do that all game. So being able to give us 6 innings is going to be huge. We need 6 innings, in my opinion. We need 6 innings. That way you can go some combination of like Suarez, Martinez, or whoever you want, and then Hader. 6
That's
innings
probably
would
what
be,
I go. I
yeah,
think that's
definitely,
your 1, 2, 3 out of the bullpen.
100%.
What do you,
We need,
what
go
do you
for
think
it.
about this question? I was gonna say, doesn't Snell pitch more locked in with the fans behind him? I always feel like he does.
Yeah, statistically, his numbers are much better at home, and New York is kind of weird just because across the country it was like 40, 50 degrees. Blake Snell's only played in Tampa Bay, which is a dome, and San Diego, which is 70 or 80 degrees almost every day. So a much different environment for Blake Snell there. So he's coming back home, and one of the most exciting, probably the most exciting environment he's ever going to pitch in. Um, get behind him because he pitches better when the electricity is up, when the lights are on him. So um, it's going to be huge for Blake Snell to be able to go 6 tomorrow. No, God damn it, Friday.
You can't figure that one out, huh?
I can't, man. I can't. I'm so anxious to watch it. I wish it was tomorrow.
Dude, yeah, this has been some good baseball early on. I feel like yesterday was almost kind of agonizing in a way because it was like, come on, bro, you guys can come back. You're literally so close. You get it. You cut the 5-run lead down to 2. Like we just need a bloop and a blast, and it just never comes. But today was really the inverse of that. I mean, both these games have been 5-3, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
both been
5-3.
5-3, 5-3. So I feel like they were both very stressful and like, oh god.
Yeah.
But both teams are in it. Both teams are competing in this series so far. So, with that said, Isaac, I don't think we're going to go super long. Any other thing from this series? Any other last questions from anyone that you guys have real quick? And we're probably going to take off. I'll post the keys to the game for tomorrow as well. Okay, I like this one. So we'll finish on a couple questions real quick here, and then we'll probably bounce. But Tom asked, who is the X factor for Friday?
Blake.
We said Blake Snell, but outside of Blake Snell,
Okay.
Soto,
It's Juan
we
Soto.
need it, bro. We
It's
need the
Juan Soto.
power.
He's getting an advantageous matchup, righty against lefty, at home. There's no better environment to finally hit for some power. I mean, how many hits did he get today? 1 or 2? I think he's hitting like around 278 in the postseason, which isn't bad, but you need to start hitting some doubles, man. You need to start hitting for power. I mean, that's what we really need. We need power. You saw the Dodgers were able to hang in this game strictly off home runs. We need that type of thing too, where we're able to hit 2-run bombs, 3-run bombs. We need those type of game-changing bombs, and Juan Soto's supposed to be one of the main guys to do it. So Juan Soto's definitely probably going to be the biggest X factor.
Yeah, I think Soto. I think if you don't go Soto, I'm trying to think. Like, 'cause I feel like we could have said like Crone, some guys like that
Frank
that needed
Grisham.
to bounce back. You could say Manny Machado again, just because of how much he's
Sure.
carried this team throughout the year. But also like same thing we said, like we know what we're expecting from Manny, like,
Yeah.
and we know we're kind of getting that from Manny on a nightly basis. But you definitely need the power. I think Corbin also says Kim will be the X factor. Yeah, Kim's been able to hang in there with the Dodgers pitching a little bit better than sometimes he looks a little overpowered at times, but I mean he still looks pretty good. He's played great defense.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is gonna be an amazing series. I'm very, very happy that we did not go down 2-0. That would have been disaster mode right there.
Yeah.
But City Connect unis for Friday. What do you think? You got to, right?
I don't know. I think I'm sticking with the whites.
You're going with the white? I
Yeah.
think you gotta go City. I think they will go City Connects.
That'd be cool though. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I feel like that's kind of like their mojo of how they make those decisions. Like, you remember when they had the back-to-back City
Oh, they
Connects?
went, yeah, back to back City Connects.
Yeah, like, it was like, "Oh, we got the momentum." I feel like that's kind of what we're gonna see.
Yeah.
Oh, brown and gold official. Game was not as close as it looked with this umping. That's true, but also it was the most stressful game I feel like I've ever watched.
Yeah, it was. It was super stressful, man. I mean, like I said, I couldn't sit down, so I'm looking forward to being able to sleep comfortably tonight, and
Yeah.
not having to worry the whole day tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think it's gonna do it. Thank you for hopping on the stream. We'll post a couple clips before tomorrow's game, probably from the stream also. But we'll be back tomorrow after the game, and hopefully we're celebrating a Joe Musgrove or a Blake Snell great outing, and then a Joe Musgrove great outing the day after that. But thank you guys for hopping on, and let's go Padres, baby! Huge win.
Yes, sir.